Hello and welcome to this week's Glasstire Top 5. It is the week of June 28th, 2018. I'm Brandon Zech.
I'm Christina Rees.
And we have a mostly group show list for you this week, but it makes sense. It's summer, even though everywhere is doing their group shows, they're not slowing down.
Yeah, it's true, although the first couple of shows we're going to talk about are solo shows, so let's just hop right in.
Number 5 this week is a show by Jeff Wheeler. It's called From the Shores of the Adriatic. It's at Vaughan Mason Fine Art, which is a new space over on Colquitt Street in Houston. This show opens on a Saturday. It's going to be up for about a month. There's going to be a performance by Jeffrey Wheeler's brother, Brian Wheeler, at the opening. The Wheelers are a longtime Texas brother art duo. They have their together work, but they also have their work separately. Jeff, for a while, has been in Croatia. He's been kind of holed up in this tiny little tourist town in Croatia, just making work and painting on plein air and doing everything it is that Jeff does. There's going to be paintings, drawings, sketches, a little bit of everything. With Jeff's show, it's always a little bit of everything. And this is kind of a quick stop in Houston before he actually takes a new job as a curator out west. So go see this, say hi to Jeff, and tell him congrats and welcome back to the U.S.
So number 4 this week is Cynthia Mulcahy. It's a show called War Garden, United States of America, 1917 to 2017 at Talley Dunn Gallery in Dallas. This opened just a couple of weekends ago. I've seen it, and I had seen some of this work prior to the show opening, but Cynthia Mulcahy, just for a tiny bit of background, she was a dealer and a gallerist here in Dallas for years and had a fantastic gallery, fantastic program. When she stopped doing that, she started making work, and at first it was more kind of collaborative, social practice, kind of headline-grabbing projects. This is the first time I've seen her make discrete works of art that are in a gallery for sale. So the thing that I think is best about the show are these watercolors. She's done these botanical illustration type watercolors of flora and fauna. They're very delicate. They almost look sort of faded with time. The calligraphy is absolutely beautiful. And they're all metaphors for the military-industrial complex in the United States over the last 100 years. So all of these images are stand-ins for various military occupations and invasions and interventions and initiatives and research leading right up to today. I like the tension between what's delicate and charming about these pieces and also what's incredibly heavy and unbelievably sad and very current about these works. I like it. I'm surprised by it. I was glad to see it. So number 3 this week is at the McNay in San Antonio. This is their group summer show. It's called Immersed, Local to Global Art Sensations. I spent a couple of days with this show last week. We were doing some work there, but it's 4 artists. It's Yayoi Kusama, Philip Worthington, Andy Warhol, and San Antonio-based Chris Sauter. And so it's 4 immersive installations.
It's basically a big retrospective-y thing of some shows that have happened in Houston over the past couple years, which isn't a bad thing. 2 of them are really big interactive-y installations that the MFAH hosted, and then Andy Warhol's film Sunset, which was at the Menil Collection.
The thing about Sunset and the Andy Warhol is that it was commissioned originally by the de Menils. They were going to build a chapel-ish building for the Hemisphere, 1968, in San Antonio, and screen this Andy Warhol film there. And it didn't happen. It just didn't come together. So this is the first time that this particular Warhol has been shown in San Antonio. It's like a homecoming after 50 years. This is also marking part of the tricentennial citywide celebration for San Antonio, and having Chris Sauter's piece in it is part of that. I like it. I mean, the Philip Worthington, Neil did a review for us of this show, and he was so dismissive of that. And this is the first time I got to play inside the Philip Worthington, and I loved it.
The Infinity Room has a line like you would expect. It's the same Infinity Room that was in the Kusama exhibition in Houston, which the MFA actually owns. The MFA actually owns the Philip Worthington, but maybe just as good as some of the interactives that are in this exhibition. There's amazing, what did you call it, mermaid skin?
Mermaid skin.
Somehow the non-art always ends up winning out in some way, shape, or form.
I mean, they're determined to get people interacting with this stuff, and Sauter's piece is great. I have to say that is a tremendously successful piece. I think it's a very sad piece and a pretty heavy piece, and it absolutely works. I'm so pleased with that. But this is a good show. It's a good summer show. They kind of have the galleries dark and cooled off, and it just feels like a place that you can dip into and get a little bit of relief from the summer heat.
Number 2 this week is an exhibition at Kirk Hopper Fine Art in Dallas. It's a show called Prohibitor. It's opening on Saturday, and it'll be up through the beginning of August.
Yeah, this is a group show. We've heard of most of these artists, if not all of them. We've got Sara Cardona and Matthew Bourbon and Michael Frank Blair and Fabiola Valenzuela and David Willburn. Good artists. There's probably 10 of them, and it's mostly abstraction, but it's kind of about fragmentation. And this is speaking to our current political climate. It just sounds like a good, solid group show, and these are good, solid artists.
And number 1 this week is an exhibition at Mexic-Arts in Austin. I saw this exhibition when I was in Austin last week and was really blown away by it. So YLA is an annual group show that happens in Austin. This is the 23rd edition of it, and this year's was guest curated by Rocha Rochelli. And maybe it's because of our political climate, or maybe because this curator just happened upon a really awesome group of artists, or maybe a combination of everything. I thought some of the work in this has been some of the strongest work that I've ever actually seen at Mexic-Arts. Great paintings by Alejandro Macias and Adrian Delgado, installations by Natalia Rocafuerte and Lizette Chavez, and videos by Ana Trevino. Some great works that we actually included in a previous top 5 by Raul Gonzalez that I believe he showed at Grey Duck Gallery in Austin, or works that are similar to that series. A lot of work dealing with the border, a lot of work dealing with immigration. Also, check out the Changarito project, which is a little cart that Leslie Moody Castro actually brought to Austin and ended up at the Mexic-Arts. There's an exhibition of works from artists that sold work out of this cart. It's kind of like almost like street vending your art. But there's a great little exhibition that has prints, zines, various other artist-made things, stickers, buttons, and I always like seeing that kind of stuff in a museum because you almost never do. It's the little ephemera stuff.